So earlier on in your process, you were, I guess you said, locked up in your house in a
For 1 year.
for 1 year. Right, right. Yeah, so this is very common that we are forced into some situation where we have to take space from another, either in a classical way, it's, you go on a retreat or you spend time in some sort of spiritual community. But for many of us, we're forced to take space either due to the intense emotional stuff coming up. Maybe we lose our job. Sometimes people get sick. Sometimes relationships fall apart. Somehow or the other, we end up alone in a sort of forced retreat with very little interaction with the world in most cases. Speaking in a more broader sense, the pandemic put a lot of people into that position. And of course, the pandemic's, there's many themes there, but one of the themes was a forced retreat, and it served for many people's awakening process. Maybe some people here can say, the pandemic had a big part in their awakening. I know that many people that I've been in touch with, it's played a role. But in any case, yes, we find ourselves alone in solitude at times. And then, of course, after going through whatever healing and transformation in the solitude, we return back out into the world in a new place. We're reborn, we're transformed. So when it comes to interacting with other people, I would say set the intention to interact with mindfulness, with presence, with consciousness, and trust that those very simple approaches in time will address any of the challenges that you may find that you're faced with. So that's where we always fall back on. We say, I want to practice being present, being mindful, being conscious. There's some great books that you can read that aren't specifically about Kundalini. Often when we return back into the world, we're asked to some degree to let go of the Kundalini narrative, to stop looking at our process solely as a Kundalini awakening, and now look at it more of in a more holistic overall sense of, now this is just spiritual life. And so from here, all the other spiritual guidance and texts and books out there become very, very applicable. For example, Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. He speaks about interacting with people. He speaks about relationships. He doesn't speak about Kundalini awakening per se, but all of those teachings will still apply. The work of, Thich Nhat Hanh, very much applicable here. As well, when it comes to something like boundaries, a lot of the material that's coming out of, say, the psychology world, by therapists, by psychologists that speak about maybe navigating family dynamics, maybe navigating codependency, dealing with maybe in more extreme cases, people with narcissistic personality disorder. All of that material can be very much applicable that we can use to figure out how do we get back into the world to operate in a way that is respectful of others and also respectful of ourselves. So that's how we can learn how to establish boundaries and whatnot. You're not likely to find a lot of material online that says how to establish boundaries in relationships after you've had a Kundalini awakening, because it's too specific. It's too much of a niche topic. But if you look at all the material online about how to establish boundaries, there's plenty of material online and it's all applicable here. So you can look on YouTube as well. There's a lot of great stuff there. When it comes to
So I
learning
have
how,
to
go ahead.
I have to totally ignore the fact that I've had a Kundalini. I ignore it. I don't care about it. I
Not,
don't put it in consideration.
right.
The
Not that
role
you
of the
ignore it.
Kundalini here.
Yeah, it's not that you ignore that you've had a Kundalini awakening. It's just that you want to set the intention now to let go of the narrative and look in a more broader sense. And one paradigm that you can look at this through is the Buddhist paradigm, where Kundalini awakening is maybe mentioned here and there, but they have a much larger context that they're looking at the spiritual path through. And a lot of that comes down to things that, how do we apply right livelihood, right action? How do we operate in relationships? So Kundalini is just one piece of the puzzle within the Buddhist paradigm. And that's why I'm saying,
Yeah.
look at the overall spiritual teachings out there that don't speak specifically to Kundalini, because you might get trapped. You may feel lost. You may feel like, I don't forget this from you, but just generally may feel like I'm so special. I had a Kundalini awakening. I need special teachings. I need special instruction. When you don't really, it's all the stuff that's out there. It's very much applicable here.